Does your classroom often look like this? Principals nagging you about creating more engaging activities? Here are a few suggestions that should liven up a classroom inhabited by sleepy-headed students. First, check for carbon monoxide leaks. You can't possibly be expected to engage a group of students who are being cold to the afterlife by an odorless, colorless killer. Assuming you don't find that poisonous gases are the culprit of your students' endless boredom, it may be time to investigate the way you feel students should be engaged versus the way the modern student actually becomes engaged. Take a look at what you're using to present new content. You may be a die-hard traditionalist. To you, the sound of chalk on a blackboard is a rapturous pedagogical symphony. The musk of the overhead markers awakens your senses and prepares you to face a new and exciting day, and the blue streaks it leaves on your hands are battle scars, incontestable proof of a job well done. While all of these things may look like good teaching to you, to the modern student, they probably sound like white noise, teaching tools that are ever present and thus entirely inconsequential. By tapping into technologies that actually matter to students, not only will you increase their interest levels, you'll also be preparing them for the 21st century job world. CNN Money recently did a report entitled New Jobs. Out of the 5 presented, every one is inextricably linked to new technologies. Andy Tatum is a disease mapper. He's working on tracking malaria outbreaks geographically via the newest technologies available. Matt Ziegler is a robot programmer. He's currently building bots that will soon do the jobs that we're unfortunately preparing many of our students to do. Bob Lee is an information engineer, a position created to help Web 2.0 companies like eBay do an enormous amount of bookkeeping. Donald Fuller is a radio surgeon. He uses this machine to do really cool medical stuff that I can't even begin to understand. And while it may seem like a stretch, Stephen Lieberman has used Second Life to peddle his law business. He's created Law Island, where users can come for legal advice and referrals. While it's an admirably good practice to foster community in the classroom, we can no longer content ourselves to stop there. The advent of Web 2.0 means that, as educators, we have both the tools and the responsibility to engage our students in a global community. There is an ever-expanding array of web tools that make this possible. Most of them are free and relatively easy to navigate with little technological know-how. Even as our students are entering the workforce for the first time, they're likely to find themselves face-to-face with new technologies, as evidenced by this touchscreen menu found commonly in fast food chains. And while we can't teach our students about every new user interface that pops up on the job market, we can provide them with tools that will make navigating new programs and interfaces easier. This is an indispensable 21st century job skill. Every day, we're taking away cell phones from students. The mobile lab seen here probably dwarfs the computing capabilities of the computers that we grew up with. So if you were the teacher blowing the dust off the same transparencies every year, it's probably time to start some grant writing. An Elmo would probably serve your needs much better than the traditional overhead projector. Have your students make a movie instead of writing or plagiarizing the book report that you've assigned since the Bronze Age. Get a smart board and allow your kids to interact in your class in ways that weren't possible before. And while you're at it, pick up an airliner and unlock more of your smart board's actual potential. The job of the educator is to prepare students for the real world. As long as we're teaching in the past, we aren't preparing our students for the future, and thus, we're not doing our jobs.